Have you ever wondered why you react the way you do? I'm not talking about those superficial reactions you discuss with your friends. I'm talking about those deep reactions you don't even admit to yourself, the ones that happen in the privacy of your mind, when someone ignores you, when your boss criticizes you, when the person you love disappoints you, the immediate reaction, the sharp pain, the contained rage, the silent victimization. But what if I told you that this way of reacting is precisely what keeps you chained? What if that reaction, the one you believe inevitable, was actually a choice? I'm going to tell you something that will make you uncomfortable. There is a fundamental weakness in how you react to life. It's not your fault. No one taught you another way. But today, here, we're going to unlearn together. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them." Do you understand? It's not the event that hurts you, it's the interpretation you give it. Look at it closely. Your colleague receives a promotion you believed you deserved. What do you feel? Betrayal, injustice, rage. You tell yourself, they've stolen what was mine. But is it really so? The weak, and I don't say this to offend you, but to awaken you, live in a world of automatic reactions, like puppets whose strings are pulled by every external circumstance. The email they didn't respond to, the look you misinterpreted, the comment that offended you. Strength isn't about feeling nothing. This is crucial for you to understand. I'm not asking you to become a stone. True strength resides in the sacred space between stimulus and your response. Epictetus, who was a slave before becoming a philosopher, said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our perceptions of them." And here's the uncomfortable truth. Your emotional suffering comes almost exclusively from your interpretation of the facts, not from the facts themselves. You feel ignored in a meeting and think, they don't value my opinion, they don't respect me. They cancel plans at the last minute and your mind constructs, I'm not important to them. Someone criticizes your work and you tell yourself, I'm a failure. Do you see? You've handed over control of your emotional well-being to the actions of others, to circumstances, to chance. And that silent surrender of your power is the true weakness. Viktor Frankl, survivor of Nazi concentration camps, wrote something that should be engraved in your consciousness. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space, that small moment between what happens to you and how you react, is where your true power resides. But you've been trained, we all have been, to react instantaneously. Without that space, without that sacred pause, you're wondering, how do I do it? How do I find that space? What I'm about to tell you won't be comfortable. First, you must recognize something painful. Your emotional reactions are not the truth. They are simply interpretations programmed by your personal history. When your partner doesn't respond to a message and you feel anxiety, it's not because there's real danger. It's because your mind has constructed a narrative of abandonment. When someone questions your opinion and you become furious, it's not because of the question itself. It's because you've tied your identity to being right. Second, You must understand that your emotions don't require immediate action. The weak, and remember, it's not an insult, but a description of a state you can transcend, jump immediately from emotion to reaction. They feel anger and respond with anger. They feel fear and act from fear. They feel jealousy and behave from jealousy. The strong person, however, feels the emotion, acknowledges it, but doesn't allow it to hijack their behavior. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." I propose an experiment. The next time you feel an intense emotion, anger, sadness, frustration, stop, breathe, count to 10 if necessary. And during that pause, ask yourself, is my interpretation of what happened true? Am I reacting to the facts or to my personal history? What would happen if I chose to see this differently? Epictetus said, "Don't seek for events to happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." It's not resignation, it's freedom. It's understanding that your power isn't in controlling the external world, but in choosing your response to it. Third, and perhaps the most difficult, you must accept that emotional pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Viktor Frankl, from the extreme experience of concentration camps, taught us that even in the most terrible conditions, human beings retain the freedom to choose their attitude. If he could find meaning and choose his response in the hell of Auschwitz, what prevents you from finding that space of freedom in the face of everyday difficulties? Remember, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel. Emotions are valuable information. They're your nervous system communicating with you. What I'm saying is that you don't need to be a prisoner of your automatic reactions. Look back on your life. How many times have you said or done something in an emotional outburst only to regret it later? How many relationships have you damaged through impulsive reactions? How many opportunities have you lost by acting from fear or anger? The Stoics practiced something called premeditation of adversity. Each morning, they imagined the difficulties they might encounter that day and visualized how they would respond with virtue and equanimity, not to become insensitive, but to be prepared. But there's something even deeper, something few are willing to recognize. Sometimes you cling to your emotional reactions because they give you something. They provide you with an identity, a story, a role to play, the perpetual victim, the martyr, the misunderstood one, the one who's always right. These roles are familiar to you, comfortable, even in their discomfort. Are you willing to abandon them? Viktor Frankl wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." This is the real work, the inner work that no one sees, but everyone perceives in your actions. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you could create that space between stimulus and your response. If you could consciously choose how to react instead of being dragged by automatic patterns. How would your relationships change? Your work? Your relationship with yourself? Don't deceive yourself. This path isn't easy. It requires constant practice, vigilance, brutal honesty with yourself. There will be days when you fail, when emotion hijacks you before you can notice it. But each time you manage to create that space, each time you choose your response instead of reacting automatically, you'll be strengthening an internal muscle, the muscle of true freedom. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." And being good, in this context, means being master of yourself, of your reactions, of your inner world. Because at the end of the day, when everything is reduced to the essential, your reactions define your reality. It's not external events that determine the quality of your life. It's how you react to them. Epictetus summarized it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. I invite you to a life experiment. For the next 7 days, every time you feel an intense negative emotion, stop, breathe, create that space, and ask yourself, is this reaction what I would choose if I were completely free? Or am I following an automatic pattern? This simple act of awareness can transform your life from the inside out. Viktor Frankl wrote, "The last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. This is your freedom, your power, your responsibility. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about elevating your consciousness. It's not about denying pain. It's about transcending it. It's not about becoming someone without feelings. It's about becoming someone who consciously chooses how to express them." Reacting automatically is for the weak, not because they're bad people, but because they haven't yet awakened to their own inner power. You've already begun that awakening. With every word you've heard today, with every reflection that has resonated within you. If this message has touched you, let me know in the comments what automatic reaction you're willing to transform, starting today. Share a phrase, a word, that symbolizes your commitment to this change. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share this video with them. Sometimes the right words at the right time can change a life. Remember, between stimulus and your response, there is a space. In that space resides your power, your freedom, your full humanity. Don't waste it.